friends, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. So today let's talk about wrestling with God. If you're a believer or if you're just curious about God, then this conversation may be for you. So what I mean by wrestling with God is not that God is trying to force you to do anything, because God gives us free will to do what we want to do. Isn't that right? We're able to do whatever. Even if we know that what we're doing is wrong, we may get that gut feeling, that little voice in our ear telling us that we shouldn't do something, but we do it anyway. That's because we have free will. If God didn't give us free will, He would always stop us before we do anything. We wouldn't be able to sin. We wouldn't be able to make mistakes, because He will always be tightening us up and getting us back in line. But when we wrestle with God, it's because of you. It's because you want the blessings of God. You want to get to know God. You want relationship with God, but you're not willing to do whatever it takes to get that. It's just like being a person who is selfish and trying to be in relationship with somebody where you want everything your way. You don't want to make any changes. You want to be accepted for how you are, but you want the other person to love you and to give to you and to pour into you, and you don't have to do anything but be reckless and do what you want to do. And in time, whenever you feel like it, then you can give love back. And that's what a lot of us are trying to do. So we end up wrestling with God, because God is always accepting you. Whenever you call on Him, whenever you pray to Him, whenever you call out His name, He's there. He answers. And a lot of times what happens is, even if you're not fully a believer, you may be just curious, because you see you may see other people who are believers, being blessed and, going through things that you're like, wow, that's amazing. Then they give that thanks to God, or they give their lives, they tell their stories and they talk about how they gave their lives to God, and then things started improving for them, and you want a piece of that pie. You're like, well, why? What I gotta do? But the journey isn't easy, and I think a lot of us fail to know that God is not human. He's not like we can't put on a mask and be like, well, I'm going to pretend like I'm just this great person. I'm going to pretend like I'm your best friend. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to love you for life. I'm going to pretend like, everything's all good with me. And then you're going to just give me all the blessings. You're just going to pour into me. You're going to do all the things for me that I see you doing for other people. See, God knows our hearts. You can't hide that. You can't paint that. No matter how hard you try, your heart is your heart. And until you heal that heart, and until you do the inner work, so that you can become a better person, a better individual inside before it shows up on the outside, there's nothing you can do. You can't trick God. You know how I know? Because I tried it. I tried to be like, well, I'm all, holier than thou, and I'm all about you, God. But then the same weekend that I go to church, I could be going out to a bar, hanging out with friends, or talking about things I shouldn't be talking about, gossiping, and, doing things that are not of God, or even, just simply not spending enough time with Him. Instead of, taking time and maybe reading scripture, or just praying, or just talking to God. I mean, it's so easy. We make it harder than it has to be. All you have to do is just talk. That's it. Just like if you were in a relationship with somebody, in a friendship with somebody, you want them to just talk to you. You don't want them to have to come do all these dances for you and worship you and all this before they can talk to you, before they can say, hi, how was your day? Or hi, I need you. So we paint God to be this person, well, this spirit who is just, you got to be perfect. You got to be in line. You can't come to God with dirty feet. And He's like, I absolutely love you come to me with dirty feet, because then I can help you cleanse them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think when we are trying to maneuver through life and we want to connect with God, or we just have a curiosity, sometimes, it's nothing wrong with, if you don't believe, that's okay. Everybody's on a different journey. Everybody has different beliefs. So I'm not here to judge anybody, but I do know, even before, I always was brought up in church. But when I fell off track, I always had this curiosity, because I didn't know. And so it's like I was peeking back in, peeking my head through the little creases of the door and trying to see, who is this God? What can he do for me? What kind of relationship could we have? You know, what can I do to please him? How can I be accepted in his sight? You know, and I would do that, and then as soon as I would feel like he's looking at me and it's like, okay, now he's calling on me like, I see you, come here, my child, then I'm shutting the door and I'm running away because I don't want to engage like I want to, but I'm fearful because I know when I get close to him, he starts to strip me. And he says, you can't bring this into my presence. You can't bring that into my presence. I didn't make you like this. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to change this. I'm going to, you know, work on you from the inside. I'm going to take some of those friends away that are not for your good. And it hurts. And so instead of just accepting that God knows what he's doing and believing and trusting in him, we run away because it's like, how do I know? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you know, we let the devils get in our head, and we also just ourselves, our own human understanding, we start to be like, how do I know this is God? Or how do I know that I'm not just, you know, pushing people away for no reason? Or how do I know that I'm not offending people because of my belief and things like that? And that's just a trick of the devil. If you just stay focused, he'll get you through it. Stop doubting. Stop having fears, you know, or else you're going to always be tumbling and wrestling with him. Relationship with God is going to seem so hard, and with Jesus, of course, but relationship with him is going to seem so hard when you're not coming with an open heart. It could be dirty, it could be the blackest heart, but if you want to allow God and Jesus into your life, and if you want to, you know, get to know them for yourself, you are going to have to let a little crack in. You're going to have to let them into a little space. That's all they need is a little space. Just like the devil just needs a little crack to work his way into your life. That's all God needs too, to work himself into your life. But you have to be accepting and stop pushing away. I've been that person, and sometimes still I do the same thing. It's never a perfect journey. And you just, you know, if you are on this journey and you feel like you just want to give up, this is just encouragement for you to not give up. I mean, if this is what you truly want, you have to keep moving, keep pushing through it. And even when it stings, even when it hurts, even when you don't believe it, or even when things start to get hard, because they will, because like I said, God is going to make you into a new person. He's going to make your heart new. He's going to make your spirit new. He's going to cleanse you. He's just going to continue to work on you. But it's all for your greater good. I mean, there's a lot of times that things have been changed and taken away from me in my life. And I was angry for the moment, but later on in life, I realized the reason why this had to happen, why they had to go, why I can't talk like this no more, why I can't dress like that no more. And to be honest, even with those changes, that's things that I want for myself. We think it's all bad what God wants for us to do, but it's not. In the end, he just wants you to have an agape love for him and agape love for yourself. And then that's where you can love other people. That's it. And we just make it seem so hard. We make it seem so hard, yet we'll listen to Satan and we'll say, okay, well, you know, you want me to rob, steal, kill, you know, fornicate, whatever, you know, everything, whatever's opposite from God or whatever your belief is. You want me to do all this. You want me to cheat. You want me to beat on people. You want me to do all this. But then we end up with all kinds of terrible luggage. We end up in our deathbeds. We end up in prison. We end up with children, unplanned children. We end up, you know, with our lives a wreck, and we think that's okay. But God is saying that you can have all those things, but have it more abundantly and have it more in a peaceful, more joyful, enjoyable way. You can have that. Like, you know, you want kids. I mean, or you're, instead of having kids and dealing with them by yourself and going through the whole system and stuff, you can have a husband or a wife and kids. You can have, you know, you can, instead of taking people's lives, you can just learn how, you can have peace. If they're talking crazy, you can walk away. He'll just give you so much strength and so much power to do the things that seem impossible. And I know because I'm a living testimony. I mean, I've been through the angry phase. I used to be so angry. Don't look at me this way. Don't talk to me that way. I'm going to fight. And now I'm nothing like I used to be. And I didn't do much of anything but just call on God, call on Jesus, pray, believe. That's it. We make it so much harder than it has to be. And I think the major issue is we want to listen to Christians and, all other believers and all that stuff about their walks, but their walk is their walk. And if you're too busy trying to focus on their walk and trying to compare it to your walk, you'll always go through unhappiness and you'll want to give up. And then you'll be messing with God because you want to call on God, but then when God starts to cleanse you and he's trying to work on you and he's trying to give you the things that you're praying for, but you have to make sacrifices to get them, then I don't want to do that. Like, you're calling on God, as soon as he answers, I don't want to do that. So you walk away. And then when you're in trouble again, you're creeping back. And it's a constant, you creeping back and trying to call him again. And then when it's not working, you run away. Or you say, no, God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. Can I just have this without having to do that? Can I just talk this way without having to talk that way? Can I just, behave in this way and still get your love? And like, we want to debate with God when what he's telling you to do is for your greater good, for one. And it's what he's telling you to do, like our parents. We can't debate with our parents when we're kids. You may have tried it. I mean, I used to try it and get in trouble all the time. But at the end, your parents are going to win because your parents' rules are your parents' rules. What they say is what goes. And that's how our Father is to us. He's our Father. So if he's saying, no, you can't have that friend and still, get over here to the better friends that I have for you and to, be able to work your way up the ladder and be successful in life, holding on to these people. No, you can't have that relationship because it's not healthy for you. You can't, you're not going to get married to this person because that's not the person I have for you. Like, and you're like, well, God, can I please? And then you're constantly wrestling because you don't want to surrender. You don't want to say, yes, this hurts. No, I don't want to do this. But if this is what you're calling me to do, then I'll do it. Because if I'm choosing to believe in you, I have to trust you the whole way, not just part of it. I can't say, God, work on this financial issues in my life, but keep your hands off my relationships. Work on the way that I look on the outside, but keep your hands off of the inner me. Let me do that work because you can't do it by yourself. And for an example, we always want to call on our friends when we're going through something. We want to go through counseling. We want to do things like that. That's all great things. That is. But it only can get you so far. God and Jesus and whatever higher powers you believe in, those are the only ones that can get you further. Your spiritual beliefs. Because we are essentially spirits. We just have shells so that we'll be visible, but we're spirits. And so there's no one better to help us through how to live on a spiritual level and how to be more spiritual and how to be more clean and free and how to find more peace and more joy in life than to connect with our spiritual beings. But you let me know what you think. That's just my thoughts on wrestling with God. Like I said, I've been there. I still struggle with it sometimes. But it's a journey, and you just have to keep working. When you fall off or when you turn away, you have to turn back around. You have to get back up and dust yourself off and keep on going, because God's not gonna give up on you. As long as you're here and you're calling on him, he's always going to listen. You could be in the middle of sin. You could be doing the worst thing of your life, and you call on God, you call on Jesus, and they're going to be there. So while you still have breath in your body and you're still on this side of the world, you are able to connect with God. You are. No matter what you've done, no matter what you're doing, no matter your background, no matter what insecurities you have, none of that matters, because you still have a chance. While you're here, you still have a chance at any time of your life to connect to them and to get in relationship with them. You still have a chance. But know that with that's going to come sacrifice. That's because you have to get rid of the old to get the new. But we'll keep the conversation going. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, be polite, be courteous, and kind. And, let's not be judgmental. And remember, our words whether it's written or spoken, has the power to uplift or break down people. And that's not what we're here to do on this channel. We're here to uplift spirits and give people hope and help people get through this thing called life. So we will talk next time. Bye.